You are now listening to the Black and Bougie podcast with your hosts, Tamia and Aaliyah.
There we go.
Here we go. We're here. Look at us.
Look at us, just living our best lives, doing our thing, loving it, living it.
We officially have 4 episodes out now.
We're official.
We've been out here for a month.
Oh my gosh, it has been a month.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it because, I don't know. Because the first episode was like posted on the 28th of August, but it's only the 18th of September, so.
But we did record earlier.
Yeah, it just feels weird.
Yeah. And plus we've been kind of preparing for this for a while too. So it's like now that we're like in it, it's like, ooh, we're really doing this.
I like it though. I love it. It's like really fun. It's low-key like therapy.
Yes. I since you don't have Twitter anymore, I will say or tweet as like one of the greatest things to happen to me during 2020 has been starting the podcast. Like I enjoy doing these recordings so much.
I appreciate that. I enjoy just sitting and talking to you.
Me too. And it definitely has brought us like even closer together, and I really appreciate like how our friendship has transformed over this time as well. And it's like something I needed, you know?
Yeah. Same. It was weird because like when we became friends at VCU, because you didn't stay on campus, it was like so hard to like really connect. Like in the ways I got to connect with like my roommates and like D, like
Exactly.
but yeah, this has been honestly, it's just really nice to like sit and like get to like purge, get our thoughts out, and to feel like, people like what we have to say. Like,
Exactly.
thank you to everybody with all the positive feedbacks. Go rate us where you would get your podcast at 5 stars only.
Yes. Anything less than 5 stars, I don't want to hear it.
Period.
Bring that to me. Talk
Because
to
Yo Gotti
management.
never made the song that said 4.5 stars. He said 5-star chicks. That's what he said. I had to reach deep into like the bag to remember that song.
You did well. You did very well. Ooh, so tell me, what are you drinking this evening?
Oh, Strawberry Moscato, as always. Well, Moscato as always. But sorry, my phone's on. Strawberry Moscato. I put Sprite in there, and then I added some mangoes.
Ooh, you are so fancy.
My brain, it's like my mind. You know what I mean? She just be thinking this stuff.
I need you to like make a business out of that, like have your own little mixed drinks or something like that. That should be the next level to this because you are very nifty.
Why are you trying to come into my 5-year plan like this? You're in my brain.
I'm all for it.
Listen.
Hey, we'll talk about this later because I have an idea.
What are you drinking?
Ooh, I have a new favorite right now. So
No sangria?
No sangria. This is a Riesling, which if I'm not drinking a sangria, I love a good white wine. And this is one of those things where I got it because it was like really cute and it was on sale at Target. So I'm like, let's try it out. And then I haven't turned back since. It's called Kung Fu Girl. And it's really cute. It's a Riesling from 2018. I guess it's from Washington State. Yep, it's from Charles Smith Wines in Nattawa and Quincy, Washington, USA. And it's the cutest little packaging with like little like Japanese watercolor painting like over it. I'm just like, it's too cute. It's called Kung Fu Girl and it's good. It's not a really dry wine. If it was dry, I would not be drinking it. It has just enough sweetness for me to be like, I like this, you know?
Yeah. I love a sweet wine. I don't like anything bitter. Whew. The more sugar, the better.
See, I
Not
gotta
for
chill
like my
out.
insides, but
Yeah, my skin, it pops off when I have sangria because of the sugar.
my skin never really reacts to what I'm eating unless I'm eating like greasy food. But other than that, like when people say stuff like sugar, I'm just like, what are you talking about? Maybe I just don't eat a lot of sugar now that I think about it.
Or maybe you're just the chosen one.
I mean, that too. Working at the spa was so awkward because when I worked there, people would come in for their facials and they were like, who does your facials? And I was like not getting them yet. And I was like, nobody. I was just like sitting there. I was like, I don't even know who to say. And like, it was just like, this is how my skin naturally looks. So sorry. But everyone's like, oh, that's nice. And they would get irritated. And people were like, you need to use that as a selling point.
Yes,
Like,
that's what I'm thinking.
that's what I started to do. But at first I was just like, girl, I don't do anything. And honestly, it's going to catch up to me one day. Don't be like me.
No, not really. If you got good skin, you got good skin. That's genes.
Girl, that's going to catch up to me one day. The way I was not like washing my face the correct way, it was going to catch up to me right here one day. It did eventually because in the summertime I get like really dry spots on my cheeks. So, and it happened like a year ago. It just randomly started happening. So
I think you'll be good.
I mean, yeah.
We're still young. You can still reverse the signs of aging.
Here's a clip from our sponsors.
Soon.
That would be nice, a little Fenty skin.
No, I heard
put that.
Rihanna,
Wait,
I love you, but I heard Fenty skin was not the best. It's not for everyone.
it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like the fragrance thing. For me, I don't mind fragrance in like my cleansers because I'm washing it off my face anyway.
That'll be
But
the
like
only time.
Yeah, for my SPF, I don't really want fragrance in it. My moisturizer, I don't really want fragrance in her. Because it has to stay on my skin. Look at us getting into skincare.
I know. Well, I've been spending a lot of money on skincare recently because I don't know if it's like, I don't know. I think it's because I wear a mask at least 8 hours a day. And because I think we were talking about this earlier, I don't get acne, but this is the first time in my life where I have gotten acne, and it's on my cheeks. And I'm just like, of course, that's where the mask is covering my face at, because it's like my forehead and all that, that's fine. But I've been spending a lot of money on skincare to fix it. Like, I've been using Paula's Choice recently, their BHA exfoliator, and that's really nice.
The one that comes in the purple bottle?
No, it comes in a black bottle. The purple bottle is their like
body
their serum or whatever, which I want to try that out next because I really like Paula's Choice as of right now. So
it's
Paula's
really
Choice, if you're listening, Paula's Choice, sponsor me. I love your products.
Same. Now, I did accidentally one day put on like their body exfoliant after I shaved, and I was like, oh. I was like, let me wash that off because I forgot.
Oh no, that's like when you shave your legs right before going into the ocean, and it's just like, hold up.
Yes, that. Ooh, it was really that moment where I was just like, Like I had to I was like, nope. So I'm gonna have to be late to work today. No ma'am, not on my legs. And then being in the kitchen wearing skinny jeans, sweating on my legs. Nope.
Not today.
No ma'am.
Was our topic going to be friendship?
Yeah, it was going to be. And then I forgot, like literally 15 minutes ago. I was like, oh, what the F did I want to talk about?
Okay, because I was prepared to talk about friendships, the ups, the downs,
but we can,
the bad,
because
the good, and the ugly.
I was listening to music this morning, and let me go see, because I remember I screenshotted it to remember to talk about today. Oh, so I was listening to music this morning at work, and What About Your Friends by TLC came on.
Oh,
and then Exhale, Shoot, in parentheses, by Whitney Houston. came on too, and both of those are like about friendship, especially because Whitney Houston's song was on Waiting to Exhale's soundtrack, which is top 5 of my favorite movies, if anybody wanted to know. But I just wanted, let me look up the lyrics, because there was something in the lyrics to both of those songs that I felt so strongly, and I don't have time for it. But yeah, so you've been watching Girlfriends.
I have been watching Girlfriends. I am on season 3 as of now.
Same.
I heavily relate to Joan. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know how that makes me feel. But I'm definitely learning, I'm
What are you
learning.
learning from Joan?
I'm learning, for one, just how I want to react to things. Like, one thing that annoys me most about Joan is, like, she gets mad over the littlest things, and I don't want to be that part of Joan, where she's
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, so you think this, Y, and Z?" And I'm like, "Girl, chill out. It's not that deep. Calm down." Or, like, she'll get mad over something little. I'm like, you got money. It's okay." And I'm like, "You could not be a mother because you get mad over the littlest things." That's how I feel. But maybe being a mother would change her, but I don't know. But I will say in the past 3 years, I've very much so had relationships such as Jones. And I'm like, this is too close to home.
With men?
Yes.
Girl, what the hell? What you been going through?
A lot. A lot.
We are literally watching where like she's with Ellis right now. Is
Mhm.
where I literally was just watching this right before we started recording. But she's with Ellis right now, and I was, as soon as I got in the house and my sister was on the episode where she meets him, I was like, oh god, like I got so irritated immediately. I remember this show like episode by episode, everything that's gonna happen, what they're gonna say next.
Mhm.
It's really annoying, but I've said it 1,000 times, I love this show a lot, but her relationships get on my nerves, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's just like, you're the issue, but I'm also like, they are trash, like
Yes.
garbage, but also like, you're not doing anything to help the situation, Joan. Get it together. But I brought up I brought up Girlfriends because of the friendship thing, because when you were talking about how the Tony and Joan friendship reminded you of you and somebody else,
Yes.
y'all's friendship, it reminded me of, do you watch Insecure?
I watched the first season in and out. I don't have, what is it, on HBO or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have that channel. I might pay for it for Hulu, but that's the reason why I don't really watch it.
Do you care about spoilers, or like you're not that person?
It pops up on my TL occasionally, but not enough for me to know, you know?
Okay. Well, the two main characters, the main character, her and her best friend Molly, they had issues this past
Yes,
season.
I
I'm
know
sure you
that.
saw that because I was tweeting about it, so I was irritated every Sunday. But that friendship, and then Joan and Tony's friendship, reminds me of a friendship I just had,
See, I
where
saw a post about that.
that I posted.
No, well, it was recent how everyone's just like, Tony is like over Molly's shoulder, like watching over her or something like
Yes.
that.
As soon as Insecure first came out, we were all like, Yvonne Orji looks a lot like Jill Marie Jones, who plays Tony. Like, we were just like, Molly and Tony, one and the same. Like, we were just like,
Mhm.
But yeah. So just the friendship dynamic of one person is Joan is like she's the sane one, even though she is insane. She's like the sane one in the friendship where she has everything, not everything together, but she's the backbone. She's the mom of the group. And then
Gotcha.
there's Tony, who's been her friend her whole life, that can ride. She can depend on her to just be there for her whenever, to like give her money, bail her out, do all this extra bullshit. But she treats her like shit.
Yeah.
And she expects her to just deal with the fact that she's a trash friend because she's your friend. When it's just
But
like,
But the
No.
thing is, she's like mildly unaware of how trash of a friend she is, but then she's so into herself where the fact that she is a trash friend doesn't even affect her.
Yeah. So recently, it's interesting because I said something about my old friend like yesterday to my sister, and my sister was like, "I've not heard you say her name in a while." But me and this girl, in like 2016 is when I moved to. That's when my mom got married, so we moved to a different city, and that's when I was working. And she came to my job. I ended up training her, and me and her became close after that. Like just randomly, at first she was cool with my sister, and then since me and her are the same age, me and her became friends. Um, that friendship for me felt extremely one-sided, and I didn't realize it until like the very end of it. So like when it came down to like little stuff, it was like when I was going through stuff, somehow the conversation always shifted back to her life. And then she was in school, and since I wasn't, and I didn't, and it always feels like my head is all over the place, right? Like I don't know what I want to do, even though like I know what I want to do. Sometimes I just have a hard time like executing what I want to do. Her goal was to always try to like get me to just like go back to school, which her being in my head like that is another reason why I ended up going back to school and ended up realizing it still was not for me. Like it still wasn't anything I wanted to do. So that stuff. And then like it was always this thing of when I was in relationships, it was always like, well, what did you do? And never trying to hear my side of what they did.
Yeah.
And how some stuff was their fault and some stuff it really just was not me. And then also the fact that every time somebody else had an issue with me, she was always the person saying, this person is talking about you. And it's just like, why are people always so comfortable talking about me to you?
Yeah.
What are you entertaining about that conversation?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like one of those things where I was sitting there like, this is like the person I'm considering my best friend. But then at the same time, I'm not getting
that reciprocation.
Yeah, you're not even showing that you even like me that much. And I really don't even know where I was going with this. I told you I forgot why I wanted to talk about friendship.
Molly, Tony, how that relates to your past friendship. Does that help?
Girl, no, my brain does not work sometimes. Like all she wants to do is like make mixed drinks and stuff.
I mean, we have been sipping mixed drinks, so that does inhibit the brain.
True. Wow, Aaliyah, what was I talking about?
How trash of a friend she was.
Oh, true. But sometimes so in March, it got to the point where it was just kind of like, so there was this big debate. Like this was before coronavirus. This is like the very beginning of March that me and her stopped being friends.
Gotcha. Oh, interesting. Our friendships ended around the same time. But
Wow.
yes.
So at the beginning of March, I was like texting her, and I used to always ask her like when she was going to graduate because I knew it was coming up. Like there's a certain point when you're in college where like it starts to get closer to the finish line. Like when you start to do a lot more internships, you're getting a little bit closer to that finish line, right? In December, all the way back in December, my friend Maria was like, when I graduate, she was already like, at the beginning of May, I need you to be off that weekend so you can come see me graduate. That was like, that was in December, right? Granted, a lot of people don't know if they're going to graduate in May. Sometimes it's up in the air, right? But you know where your grades are at some point where you're like, I'm going to graduate this year. So I would always ask her, when are you graduating? And I would never get a reply, right? Like never. Like the conversation would just end. We could be like texting back and forth within seconds of each other. And in that moment, the conversation would just end. And one day, like at the very like ending of our friendship, like the last like conversation we had, I had asked her and she like didn't reply. I was just like, why won't she just say, I don't want to tell you? Like just tell me you don't want to say anything instead of just not replying to me, right? Granted, people are you're not entitled to anybody's reply. I understand that. But at a certain point it's just kind of like, if my one friend wants me here, most graduations are around the same time. If my one friend wants me at their graduation, but I'm considering you my best friend, your graduation is going to trump that person's graduation. So I want to know so I can tell this person, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it.
Yes.
But what I realize now is that she probably didn't even want me to go anyway. But
Oh,
when I asked, like, I didn't get a reply from her. So it's just like, whatever. So, like, the next day she texted me about something that was, like, irrelevant to my life that had something to do with her life. And I was just like, why didn't you reply to me the other day? And I was just like, I just want to know because, like, every time I ask that question, you just don't respond. And she's like, I just don't want to jinx it because I just don't. She was like, stuff happens and I don't want anything to happen before I just tell people. And I'm like, okay, but it's just like, you could just tell me that because if we're as close as like you say we are, like that whole like little nice sweet birthday message you sent me, you should be able to just talk to me and be like, hey, I just don't want to talk about that. That's just not, I don't know. Like, I don't want to like jinx anything. And I would understand, but you're just not replying to me like at all.
yeah.
So it just made me to start to think like, I'm not that important to you. And we started to have this conversation about our expectations in the friendship because my expectations of her or the expectations of somebody who's my best friend. Her expectations for me were somebody who was just her acquaintance. And I was just like, since we're not on the same page, I would rather just delete myself from this friendship because I keep getting hurt. It's like a relationship.
Exactly.
If I keep getting hurt, it's just like, why do I keep? Because you keep showing me I'm not important to you. You keep telling me, oh, this girl said that you acting funny and da 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 da. And I'm like, well, I haven't done anything to her, so I don't know why she feels that way. And you're like, well, you do be acting da 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 da. And I'm just like, well, that never happened. And then you're sitting here telling me, well, the guy you used to date said that he told you what it was before. I said no because he was the one who asked to date. Like it wasn't. I never asked somebody out first. So I don't understand why you're making it seem like this is my fault. And she's like, well, you just put too much expectations on stuff. And I'm like, just the way I just came to you about how I had expectations about stuff is how I come to everybody. So still to this day, why are you discussing stuff with other people and you can discuss stuff with me?
Exactly.
But it was just like, you're not in her mind, I wasn't her friend. So for me, that was like one friendship that ended. My friendship in high school, between me and my best friend, for me, that required a grieving process. Like to this day, like right now, I think like 2 weeks ago, I was finally over. Like I was finally like, okay, so that's just not it anymore. And I'm going to stop trying with that. And it was because of like I texted you this morning where it was just like I feel like my friends genuinely don't support me. And it was because I was expecting the support from people like her, but she was just like, I don't care about you like that anymore to do that. Which granted, like I said, I stopped talking to people for a while because I was going through stuff. So she has a right to just delete herself from my life. But it required a grieving process. And it left me to the point where it's just like, do I have friends? And then out of nowhere, me and you got close. Me and my friend Venetia got really close. Me and my friend Maria got really close. And then me and my friend Greg got really close. And it was just like, oh, so I have had these friends here, but we all have been through other stuff that required us to detach. And now we can all come back with like level-headed and be like, hey, I see you and like I saw what you were going through. Like I didn't see what you were going through or know about what you were going through, but now we can come back and be like, we understand each other.
Oh my goodness, yes. That is the best way to explain it.
Yeah, because we haven't talked in like a while.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, maybe like little interactions here and there, but not a
Yeah.
consistent basis, you know?
Mm-hmm. But it's just interesting about how like a lot of people just forget the conversation of friendships. Everybody wants to just talk about their relationships and how that shaped them to who they are. But nobody talks about how their friendships had a way in helping them grow or helping them stay or making them stay where they are. And that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about. So all of that is what I was trying to get to when
There
I
you
just said
go.
that.
And I will say my friendships, well, friendships in general just tell you where you are in your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it helped me figure out why I was attracted to those certain people during that time in my life as well. Like, because that was one thing. I was just like, why did I do that to myself? Oh, and it's not like it was all negative throughout that whole time, because
Mm-hmm.
obviously I stayed in it for a reason, because they were positives, but there were negatives in this situation that I needed to learn a lesson from. And I will say I went through the same thing. Like, I can even go by the same graduation story
Mm-hmm.
where, back up just a little bit, where where I was invited to the graduation, but was never told when the graduation was. So when the graduation came around, it was just like, why weren't you there? I'm like, what do you mean, why wasn't I there? You were graduating then? Why didn't you tell me the time that you were graduating? Because I told you, yes, I would like to come, but you never told me a date or a time that you were graduating. So unfortunately, I missed it. Are you having like a dinner or something like that? Oh, no. Don't worry about it. I'm just like, hold up, like, the intention was there. Don't turn this on me, on the fact
Yeah.
that I didn't make it, but you never told me any specifics. You just said, hey, you want to come to my graduation? And I was like, yeah, of course, but nothing to follow up from that. How was I supposed to just know, oh, you're graduating here and then? And that was one of the things that led me to the point where I was just like, something's not right. I have dealt with this same situation time and time again, and I'm tired of the other person victimizing themselves in these situations, when in reality I'm the victim here, but I'm the one that's trying to pick up the pieces and fix everything. That's when that was one of the moments where I was just like, something's not right here. And it really frustrated me, because it took to the point, to those certain points, for me to realize something was wrong. And I
Yeah.
just been basically jaded the whole time, you know? But and during that same time, I realized it's also time for me to end my relationship as well, because I realized I had the same emotion, the same energy mixed into the all those situations that I was in at that moment. And it really hurt to cut off so many people in that block of time, because
Yeah.
I felt the most alone. But at the same time, it's like God was there, and God definitely was just like, hey, yeah, you're alone right now, but this is preparing you. And I noticed so many people in my past then started coming into my life, like out of the blue, where it's just like, wow, I thought I was going to be absolutely alone, but now, like, some of my close friends from the past are now just magically coming into my, not magically, but just like randomly coming into my life. And I'm just like, this is very interesting. It's like, once I let go of that energy, positive energy started flowing into my life. And I was like, I like this. This was something I definitely needed to do. Even though it hurt me, this was something that I needed to do.
Yeah. My friend, no, not my friend. One of my old like managers that I used to work with. He like he tweeted the other day. He was just like, when you cut, the thing is about cutting everybody off who is there to talk to. And I just replied to him and I was like, God, and like, cause that's all I had like to talk to. Like, cause like I
Yes.
broke up with my ex like in December, and then my friends, me and my friend, the girl that was I thought was my best friend, we stopped talking in like March, and it was just like I don't really. And then I had already in January I moved to a new city, so it was just like I don't have anybody here but my sister. You know, it's like I'm alone. Like I don't have anything to do. Like before the world closed, it was just like I don't know what I'm doing with my time. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I thought about trying to rekindle stuff with like my high school best friend, but it was just like honestly, we're in two different places, and we're both happy in two different places. Well, I wasn't happy, but I was getting there, and I knew she was already happy somewhere else. So it's just like right now, it's just not. I don't think that's what it is right now. Where we need to be trying to like rekindle a friendship because obviously we're okay apart. So that's fine. So it was just like at that point it was like I don't have anybody to turn to but God.
Yeah.
And the way he's opened things up for me, child, it's honestly still been a blessing in disguise. Like
Exactly. I can say I went through the exact same thing.
it's really crazy.
And since you kind of broke down your timeline, I'll break down my timeline. I ended my relationship around October, November.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was around New Year's, because that was my breaking point where I was kind of gaslighted to hang out with this person. And I showed up and they had no plans. And I was like, okay, so I was all dressed up, ready to go. And this person was just like, oh, sorry. I've been so like busy and wrapped up with everything. I totally forgot. And I'm just like, but you were just like, you like literally telling me that I had set up everything for this person. It was just like, you need to be here. And so I showed up because I knew I never said those things, but I was
Mm-hmm.
being told I said those things. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. And it was just a dub. And I literally tried to do everything to save the day. I'm like, hey, no, don't worry about it. Let's do this, Y, and Z. I'm fine with it. I'll buy this, I'll buy that. Let's go ahead and just hang out. And then it was like, I could just feel the overall embarrassment of the situation because that person knew that they were in the wrong. And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I'm going to go home. Don't worry about it. And I went home the next day. I was able to process it. And I was just like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I think, like, because the person tried to apologize for
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I was just like, you know what? Let let's just stop it right here because I've been through enough.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through multiple times of this same situation, and I'm kind of just growing out of all of this at this point now. I'm not the person that you can just walk over like a rug anymore. I've grown. And then even after that, I found out even more where this person was talking about me behind my back to other people that I guess were maybe closer friends to them. And it really hurts you because you're like, wow, I really thought you were someone that was really close to me. You know, you're like, I don't talk to anyone else,
Mm-hmm.
especially about these things too. And you're the one person that I confide in and I talk to. And you decided to go and talk to other people about my personal business. And that definitely came back. And I was just like, you know what? That just kind of put the stamp on the envelope. I was just like, perfect. I ended that and I'm done with it. And that was, I definitely, like, even though it was the worst situation, I found out, like, that was just like a message from God where it's just like, yes, you did the right thing, honey. I'm glad you stepped away from it. And ever since then, it sucks because, like, you still want to check up on the person, see if they're okay,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like, you don't even know if they're at the maturity level to be able to do so comfortably. And then you lose so many other people in that as well. But luckily, like, the real people still are like with me to this day. And I can say I'm definitely blessed for that because I was so scared that I was going to lose other people just by dropping this one person off, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very happy, and that's how I know I made the right decision for myself, my body, my mind, my spirit, because it was bringing me down, and I've been able to advance from there.
Yeah, it's amazing just like having the right people around you would do, which
Yes.
is the thing about the lyrics, which I was thinking about in the songs in a way. In Exhale by Whitney Houston, it was like when you have friends who wish you well, there comes a point when you can exhale. And I was just like, yeah, when you really just have people around you just who just love on you and support you and care about your well being, you can finally just be calm and just feel like peaceful about life and not just like, oh, well, this is happening and this is happening. Just everything starts happening. I went to go see my friend Venetia the other day, literally, what was it, Monday, Sunday, something like that. And I was over there talking, we were just talking about the friendships we had, like in between like high school and now, and just like how some things ended, how we grew apart from people. And she was just like, it's amazing when you just cut some people off and how like your skin just starts glowing. And I was just like, doesn't it though? Like everything, the air feels fresher outside. like your car start running smoother. Like it's just like little things in life that just starts to like fall into place. Like, wow, like I feel more with you right now. You, Greg, and my friend Venetia are like my closest friends right now. Like,
Yay, I made it.
like everything with just like the way that I'm growing. I've always wanted to be a businesswoman. Like that's honestly since I was a child. I've never wanted to work for anybody, and I feel like I'm on a better track of getting my life together and figuring out how to do stuff with business and my career with y'all around because y'all help me in ways, like in the most random ways too. Like
Yeah.
no person is the same in how they help me, but like all three of you help me and like in the way all three of you like always support something I'm doing. Like the other day when you randomly followed my like fashion page, like I was not broadcasting it to anybody because I was just like I kind of just want to see if I can do this by myself, like if I can just make a market for myself and do it by myself. And then you randomly followed it and I was like, Instagram do be suggesting stuff to people, I forget, but like it was just nice that you saw it and you followed it because that, but then it also reminded me that, oh, other people probably see this too because I made this page from my other page, so other people probably see this and they're just like ignoring it. And I was irritated, like this morning when I texted you, I was irritated, but I'm also like, it's fine. Like, but it is more eye opening to see who supports me, which y'all three always do. And then, like I said before on an episode that we recorded, my cousin Addison always supports me too. So it's just like, I know right now I'm surrounded by the people that God needs me to be surrounded by because everything is
Yes.
going so much smoother. Like, I feel more comfortable with just like dealing with my emotions. I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm learning how to grieve better instead of in
Yeah.
the most unhealthy way that I've been doing for like the past like 6 years. But I'm finally at the point where it's just like, okay, I can get through this because before I felt so alone. Now I don't
Yeah.
feel alone anymore. Like I got
Good.
God, I got my sister, and then I have like all of y'all. And honestly, girl, I'm ready to take on the world, to be honest with you.
It's amazing to hear because that's just proof that you're growing as a human being, like growing as a
Period.
person, and you're coming into your own, and that's most important. And I'm so glad to be a part of this journey, just as you are a part of my journey. And it's weird how, like, we're different, not
Mm-hmm.
vastly different, but we're different, but we also mirror each other so, like, perfectly, because I
Mm-hmm.
could say the exact same thing, like, verbatim, And it really excites me, and it's also just a reminder that, like, I'm on my right path. I'm doing
Yeah.
what I need to be doing, and you need those little reminders just to keep you going. Just like, oh yes, I'm still doing the right thing. This is right. This is in my mind's eye. This is I love it. I'm kind of rambling now, but it's great.
No, girl. It's honestly, it's just like a refreshing thing. A lot of people say you have to find like the love of your life, and it's supposed to be that one person. It's supposed to be your significant other, but a lot of people forget that your friends can be your soulmates too, and they're
Exactly.
just as important in your life. I remember last year or a year before that, I don't know. I think last year when girlfriends had like their little reunion on Blackish or whatever, and they did like an
Yeah.
interview, and they were talking about if a movie were to happen, since they got canceled like that, if a movie were to happen, like how Sex and the City did, what they would want to see in their characters. And Charlamagne was asking Tracy Ellis Ross, he was like, what do you see Joan? Like, do you think she would get married? And she was like, I don't think Joan would get married. And it was surprising because it was like, girl, for 8 seasons, we just wanted you to get married. We just wanted you to get married. But she was like, Joan's true love was Tony. And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Right.
That kind of makes me want to cry. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
When she said that, I was just like, oh my God, like that would be so beautiful. Like sometimes it won't work out with your like relationships and stuff. And that's fine. Like it'll be okay. But like sometimes it's just like your friendships, the people that in your life that you love so dearly are like your friends. Like they help you with things when things don't work out. Your friends are supposed to be there with you. Like I know with like some of my friends, they're like having kids and I'm like, I'm gonna be there with you, like every step of the way. Them niggas gonna call me, well, not niggas, sorry. They gonna call me their aunt. Like it's little things like that. Like there's just like if you need anything, like if you were to text me right now and be like, I need some money to get some Chipotle tonight, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna give you the money. And it might be like my last, but I'm gonna give it to you because I know like it's gonna benefit me more if you eat. Like it's just gonna be like one of those things where it's just like your friendships are supposed to be there to help you.
With coming up as well. If I'm on the
Mm-hmm.
up and up, if I'm making money, if I got a company, if I got a business, I'm bringing as many people in as possible to make sure that we're all eating, we're all doing good. Because that should be the benefit of being friends with me. I'm going to make sure we're all taken care of because you were all with me in my rise up, and I'm going to make sure you're there with me on the top as well. And I think that's the good thing about friendships is like we're in this together, and it's going to be like that till the end.
Period.
Yeah. But I will say, coming back to this new moon that I think is happening, I've been embracing this new moon. During this new moon, I've been seeing a lot of 12-12, which just means like I think it means the universe is listening and it's really time for you to like really focus on your goals and what you want to manifest. And so I've been trying to do so. We all know I'm trying to manifest a man just like Joan. And I really want to just focus on business opportunities because that's the one thing that I think that will really get me to where I want to be because I'm not trying to do too much else with my life. And I feel like with what I want to do in my life is through business because I'm just a business minded person. Like you're saying, like
Mm-hmm.
you've always wanted to be a boss. Like that's the same with me. I've always had that entrepreneurial like instinct in me where I was just like, I just want to be my own boss. I want to own my own businesses. And I've seen that mirrored throughout my own life through my mom and my dad. Like they both worked on their own businesses as well. And I really want to follow behind that and like make them proud and do my own thing because I don't see myself working for someone. I don't see myself being happy working for someone, which is most important because what I see myself happy doing is doing what I love and doing that on my own terms and doing that under my own name. And another thing, kind of going back, bringing it back to the friendship, and that's one reason why I think after all we've been through, that's led me to you being in my life is that you're
Mm-hmm.
a part of that journey and I'm a part of your journey with making that come into fruition. And I'm really excited about that because with this new moon and everything, I'm trying to bring that into my life. And then also, I might be finding some new love, not rushing it because Joan was 30 and she was still struggling. And I'm only 23, so I'm okay with still struggling until I'm 30. But as of right now, I'm doing okay. I kind of like this little kid that I'm talking to. But. But with all that being said, because I've cut off those older friendships and I've allowed myself to move on and be myself,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would be here today if I hadn't have done those little things then. Well, those big things.
Same.
Those are big things for me then.
Yeah. I definitely still would have been struggling, trying to figure something out and just feeling really insecure about myself if I didn't make those steps into cutting people off. So, but are you sure there's a new moon?
Yes, my tarot girl, she was talking about the new moon. She was just like, things that the signs would be getting during the new moon. And I'm just like, yes, everything that I want.
Well, I hope it'll bring some new stuff to 2020.
It starts September 17th. Yes, ma'am.
That was yesterday.
Yep, it just started. I'm
Okay.
manifesting.
This girl is so funny because when you said like manifesting a new man, it was so funny to me because yesterday at work, this girl, she's hilarious. She was saying like, have you seen the 369 thing? And I was like, what the F is that? And she was just like, it's like when you write something down three times what you want, like it's like manifesting. She was like, and then something 6 times, and then you write down 9 times how you're gonna do it. And then she was like, I think it works. And then we were like, okay. And I was like, if it don't work, I'm gonna be upset. She was like, well, I did it to get this boy to text me back, and he texted me back, but then like And then, like, after I texted him back, he didn't reply. So I don't think it works. And it was, like, the funniest thing she's ever said. Because it was the way she said it. She was like, I think it works, but he still hasn't texted me the second time. So I don't know if I need to do it again. And I was just like, I was like, what? I was like, not you trying to manifest a man into your life. But honestly, I think I'm about to do it. Because you already know the guy I'm stalking. I will let him manifest. I'm kidding. I'm going to leave him alone for a very long time. Probably forever. But
Like I said, try the flicks and tricks. See if something happens. If not, just leave him because something better will come into your life once you leave that. Because that's one thing I know. When you focus on a certain energy, that uses up that energy so you can't apply it to something that's actually going to better you. So if you
right.
leave it, that's going to bring something better into your life. So I say why not leave it? But he was cute.
He was, but at the same time, ain't nobody chasing a nigga that only like mixed girls.
Yeah, no. Walk away. That's toxic. Walk away from that.
Toxic, and he's a Cancer. Absolutely not.
Hey, don't come up.
That's your
Cancers. You know I
type.
like Cancers.
That's your stuff. You need to go.
I'm good.
I am not doing it. Not doing it to myself. Not again. Not again. Ugh. Oh, funny. But what now? I think we really came into. We brought it full circle with the friendship thing. We finally figured out where my brain was trying to go.
Yes.
Thank God. Because sometimes she gives me ideas and then she just leaves. And she's just like, figure it out. And I'm just like, wait.
Help.
Come back.
I still need you, hoe.
Period.
Period.
I've been singing a lot lately for like no reason. Like singing like random words.
That's my
It's
thing.
random. It's so annoying. Woo.
That I know it's annoying, and that's the thing that I do. I'll be like, I need to go wash the dishes, and it's like, ho, just wash the dishes. Shut up, you know.
This is not High School Musical, sweetheart. Stop.
But maybe it is. How you know?
Because we're not in high school.
High School Musical part 4, real life. That's what we're dealing with right now. No.
Oh my goodness, I can't. I'm so grateful to not be in high school though. Child, I hated everything. Like I said earlier, like I feel like I branded myself as no one special. That was me in high school. Like in high school, I was just like, I hate it here. I'm putting my headphones in. I'm walking to class. Do not talk to me. Yes, my outfit looks cute. Thanks. Leave me alone. Let me go. Like I just really like made myself that person. Like I was just that person. Sitting in my car until the bell rang, and that's when I got out my car. Like I was just a loner in high school. I just wanted to do my work and go home.
See, I have built so many lifelong friendships with my friends. Like, I'm still friends with most of the people that I was friends with in high school, if I'm being honest. I enjoyed high school a lot. I enjoyed, like, especially my last years of high school is when I actually started to be like super sociable and hanging out. I did a lot of sports. I did a lot of like I did theater. I did like orchestra, which I know is lame, but like that also brought a lot of people into my life. And high school was fun. I made sure high school was fun, which is good because I didn't really get much of a college experience. But the thing
Same.
that I did not like about high school was just everyone was so worried about what everyone thought of them, and that was the only downside of high school. Other than that, I loved high school, and I hate that people didn't have good experience at high school because that's your youth, that's your childhood. Like I feel like my high school experience was like a young adult coming of age movie, and I really enjoyed that for some parts because then like there's still drama in those movies too. So I definitely had the drama, the good, the bad, and the ugly of my high school with like boys. Like I dated all through high school, the drama of that, and like my friends going to parties and stuff like that as well. Like I feel like I did it all in high school. I didn't do too much, but I did enough. you know?
I didn't do any of that. Like dating, that was out of the question. I talked to one guy freshman year, and then I met like the guy that I was dating at VCU, and we were friends. But like we obviously liked each other the whole time, so we were kind of talking, but we were kind of not talking and just being friends. And then after high school, we dated, and then we broke up 6 months later. Like it wasn't dating was not a thing for me in high school. Like guys, really, it was only those two guys that I know for a fact liked me because they talked to me. Like that was it. So like that wasn't a thing. School, as far as like everything else, I would say my sophomore year of high school was pretty good. But then junior year was when like my sister passed, and then honestly anything in between that, I have no clue what happened. Like no time, but that was because of like unfortunate circumstances. I have no clue what was going on around that time, other than me just trying to pass and go to college. And parties, my mom was crazy. I was not going to be able to go to any of those. Um, I went to like one football game a year, one basketball game a year. And that was really it for me. I really didn't have like this big like experience. I just found pictures the other day of me. Oh, we had like a relay for life thing each year. So I went to those. I saw a picture of me with this guy that was like really close. Well, we weren't that close, but he was just really funny. He always gave off like, you know how like you feel like people are gay, but like they're not. They tell you they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always gave me those vibes. But like I have no clue what he's doing with his life now. He's not really on social media. He
Oh,
like tweets once every 6 months.
good for
I'm just like,
him.
well, right. I'm not even. I don't think I'm ever get back on Twitter to be honest with you.
Save yourself.
Yeah, it's better for my mental health. But that was it for me. Like high school wasn't really like some big deal. Like I feel like a lot of people just didn't. Like I said, I feel like I branded myself as someone that you didn't have to care about. So that's how people treated me, and that's how people still treat me. So I'm not like it hurts, but it was just kind of like okay. Like high school was kind of trash, but it was just like, well, it's over now, and it wasn't your peak, so it's fine. I know for a fact my 40s are gonna be like super lit for me.
I peaked when I was 3 years old.
Like what?
I was my
What?
cutest when I was 3 years old. Like I looked like a Barbie doll then. So I think I just was downhill from there. Four, we don't even talk about her.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
and then like one thing I will say is throughout high school, I was always just like I was so worried about my weight, but then when I look back,
Mm-mm.
I was so skinny. I was a
Right?
stick. And now I look back and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, like I definitely like myself. Well, I don't like myself now, but like I like where I'm at now, where I was just like, oh my goodness, like I really feel bad for her because she was trying to be like so skinty, and I was definitely skinty then. And I'm like looking at myself now, I'm just like, okay, girl, I'm glad you have made it here. But overall, I would say, like I said, high school, we did the parties. I did that like my junior and senior year because we were all kind of just like, we kind of had a pact. We're just like, hey, we can't just graduate high school and not do it up. Shout out to my friend Sadie. I hope she listens to this so she gets a shout out. But she was the first party that we threw for Halloween. And it was one of the craziest parties I think I've been through. And I was hoping college would top my high school parties, but it didn't. And it's like we literally brought like everyone from around like every high school, like the crazy, like we had like the gang, I quote unquote gang people at this party, and it was like the greatest Halloween party ever. Like people were doing the craziest shit there, and we were just like getting lit. We were partying, like music was bumping. I was doing my thing. I threw up, but no one knows I threw up till this day. Um,
You are so dumb. You
now
literally
they,
just said it.
yeah, to this day, today's
To
the
this
day that
day.
people know. I was real nonchalant about it because I'm allergic to the stuff in maraschino cherries, grenadine, and that was in one of the drinks, and so I threw up, and I threw up in the cup, threw it down the toilet, rinsed out my cup, kept it going.
That's so nasty. Like, just envision that. I
I
don't like
know,
it.
but it was just like all I was in my system was alcohol, so I just threw up. It just looked like alcohol was in my cup. Quickly went to the bathroom, went down the toilet, boom. Like I was slick. Like no one can top me. But those were some of my greatest times, and I was very disappointed when I went to VCU and the parties did not match the high school parties that I had.
So there was one night at VCU where we decided, let's go out. I look really cute. Shout out to that drunk white girl on the street that told me. And we were supposed to go to a party. We got to one party. As soon as we walked 15 minutes there, saw police lights, and we were like, oh, okay, so we're not going to that party. Then we were standing outside. Then somebody wanted to stand. This somebody, please edit this out. I don't know if she listens to us. I'll assume she does, but this person that we've been talking about the whole episode, she wanted to stand out in front of somebody's house that had an American flag in front of it. And I know that that's like, I'm not Confederate flag racist, but I'm still racist terms when you have an American flag in front of your house, like a big one. She wanted to stand in front of that house and play and figure out where the next party was. I was like, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not standing here and getting shot by white people today in Richmond, Virginia. And she was irritated. And we decided to go back home. Well, she was going to make me walk back home by myself. And it was literally 12 o'clock at night, and it was pitch dark. So, yeah, that didn't work out. And then we tried to go to another party where we had to take an Uber to. And when we got there, it was making me happy because I feel comfortable around niggas. I don't know if everybody else knows that, but like ghetto niggas is what I feel comfortable around. I know them because that's what I grew up with my whole life. So I'm there at the party, and I'm just like, this is fine for me. We get there, everything's fine, and then we're literally there for 2 minutes, and she's like, you got to pay $5 for drinks, so we're leaving. And I'm just like,
Ew.
I'm like, she was already, like, as soon as, it wasn't like, I want to leave. It was like, the Uber is outside.
Oh, I wish you went out with me.
And
We
I
didn't
was
do
just
that
like,
stuff.
what? I was like, you know what, girl, that's fine. And we got that Uber and we walked. They dropped us off somewhere on Broad Street. I think that's the name of that street, isn't it?
The main street was Broad Street, yeah.
Yeah. So they dropped us off somewhere there and we just walked, like, not her, but me and Lay and Monica. They were my suite mates. I don't know if you ever met them, actually.
Yes, I did.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But we walked to IHOP. I think that was the one that was open.
Pancakes or Waffle House. There was
IHOP is
IHOP
the
and
one you
Go.
could use. The one that you could use like your little card for.
Yes, that was IHOP.
IHOP. Yeah, so we walked to
Baby
IHOP.
Cane's.
Yeah, that's where it was all connected.
Yes.
Yes. Is it called Croutons? That place?
Yes, with the salads and the wraps. I could go
You used
for
to
that
always
right
call it
now.
Croutons.
Croutons, yes.
Yes.
So glad you remembered.
Those wraps hit different. They don't
So
taste the same
good.
when I make them at home.
They don't. They really don't.
There was a sandwich shop too that was down Main Street that I can't remember the name of. But it was like really good. And
Down
as soon as
Main
I figured
Street.
out. Yes, you had to like cross that like main, like the big ass road to get to it. It was like near like an engineering building, I think. I don't know.
Chili's?
No, it was on that road though, where Chili's was at.
Bleecker?
Yes.
Yes. I would get a chicken salad sandwich on a croissant.
Yes.
And they
I
have
used to
really
get
good chicken
either.
tenders.
I used to
on the
either
other
get the
side.
chicken salad or I would get a turkey sandwich with honey mustard on that croissant. It was something about the croissant with the honey mustard that hit. It was just, oh, wow. Wow.
We were fortunate.
VCU had some good food.
We were very fortunate, yes.
But there was too many times where I was eating Pizza Hut though. I will say that.
With the Pizza Hut? All I would get there is
Yeah.
the pasta.
But that pasta was so nasty.
Oh,
That
not the
pasta one night.
fettuccine Alfredo.
Yes, it was, Aaliyah.
Call me
It
out.
it tastes like something was in it. One time, like, this is so nasty. One time it gave me like the runs. Yes.
Not me.
It was
That's the
not
only
good.
That's the only thing I would. Yeah, there's a fettuccine Alfredo. Other than that, I would be at Taco Bell or Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A on Saturdays, that line, because you got to use your swipes.
Or Saturday on a Subway as well.
Yes, but Subway was not as busy as Chick-fil-A was.
Yes, it would be. I'd be waiting in that line for Subway, but Chick-fil-A and Subway would probably tied.
I don't know. One time I went to Subway like twice on a Saturday to use my swipes, and it was not busy either time that I went there. Like
God bless.
I was like one of 3 people in line. And the
Oh,
only
no.
reason why I went there is because Chick-fil-A's line was way too long. Like, way too long. I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that today. Wow, we had some good time in the comments, huh? That little, like, store that you can go, like, I would get, like, cereal from there before, like...
Yes.
when I was going to that art history class, I would go...
Oh, I sold her glasses.
What?
She came into my store, and I really just wanted to be like, I was one of your students. I sat through your boring ass class. But yeah,
That class was so long, though.
Yeah, it was an hour.
No. It felt like 3.
The thing is, it's like I had already done classes like that, so it's like everything I was learning there, I already knew. So I was just like, okay, let's just get this over with now. I'm just here because I don't want to get an F. Like, let's keep it going.
It was too boring. It was too early. It felt like it was too long, but you're just telling me it was an hour, but it definitely felt like 3. I hated that class. I had to stop going. Like, it only made sense for me to just stop.
College was fun. But not as fun as I thought it would be, but that's okay. I low-key, like, exposed that to my grandfather, and he was just like, I'm sure VCU is a good school for those who really just want to go to school. I'm like, nah. I mean, I feel like I did have some good teachers, because I did learn some really good things from them, but they're just too greedy. They need to stop taking people's money like the way they do.
They're so expensive. They should not be that expensive.
Exactly.
Me as an art student, you knew that I was not going to be coming out. Out of state,
yes.
And then you're charging me more to be an art student. You know it's going to be harder for me to find a job. But you're charging me more, making me have to go into more debt. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Because, like, even our deposit was more expensive for the art school.
Exactly.
And it was just like, why? I just want to make some clothes. I understand why it was a big deal.
I just want to get an education.
I like that building our fashion class was in.
It was trash. It was literally falling apart. It needed air conditioning. It needed to be rebuilt. And you want to know what's something that's crazy? They built a museum before building a new arts building.
I only went there for one class, so I don't really have all those emotions like you. I just like being in there because it felt like I was with, like, other people that, like, they're going through the same thing as me.
Exactly. And it was like that.
Yeah. I loved going to class with y'all. It was so much fun.
We were the only black kids in that class, minus 1 or 2 other people.
No, there was like 3 other black girls in there.
Maybe 3.
They dressed up all the time.
Oh, there was... So, I think one of our friends became friends with one of the girls afterwards, and she's like, I don't know if she's doing things, but she's doing little things. She was one of, like, the bougie girls that was in that class. There was, like, maybe 2 bougie girls, and there was, like, one kind of in-between girl, and then there was us. Not saying we were below the in-between girl. We were kind of up there, but anyways.
We were just kind of, like, they always, like, dress really nicely, where we were just kind of like, if we want to wear, like, leggings today, I'm wearing leggings today.
I was just like, It's 9 o'clock in the morning. You ain't getting much out of me. I'm just here to learn. I don't even want to be here. I want to get food after this. That's how I showed up to class.
What we about to eat at?
We going to Einstein's. I'm getting a bagel, honey. Like that's how I was feeling when I showed up to class. I was just like, afterwards, I need a bagel, I need coffee, and then I'm going back home. Um,
Mm.
but other than that, I was chilling. And then some of the white girls, I know I know one of our friends had to deal with some of those white girls in further classes, and they were not good at what they were doing. And it was kind of just like, dang, why are y'all here? Um,
Cause you can get away with being mediocre when you're white. So
no, unfortunately.
I wish them well though, because
I wish everybody well.
yeah.
I will say I'm still friends with some of the girls that were in our class, and there's this one girl that I really like, and she's like having her own candle company, and she's doing her thing, and I want to support her, and I love her. I think she works for Macy's or something like that. If she listens to it, she knows exactly who she is, but but I love her. I mean, I know some upperclassmen that are doing very well that were in our major that are like working for some high class um, fashion brands.
That's really good.
Yeah.
There was one time I watched this like family on YouTube. Well, I used to watch their stuff like really heavily. I used to watch this family on YouTube, and they live in Virginia. I don't remember. I think whatever city the VSU is in is where they live at. I can't remember the name of it. But what was I going? Our orientation leader girl. She was in one of their videos. I was like, wait, I think I
What?
know her. But it was just like so random because I was like, oh wow, like I knew they stayed close to Richmond, but it was just weird seeing somebody that was just like, oh, I know that face.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I
surprised
didn't.
you remember her because I do not remember her.
It was like honestly, it was like a year after we had orientation. But I just remember that. I remember I used to follow her on stuff, but I didn't. I don't follow her anymore because I changed all my pages and stuff. But honestly, I don't remember what her name is. I just know she was like kind of like mixed looking.
I do not even know.
Yeah, it was. That's all I know. But it's just like this is cool. That's just like really random. I don't really know anybody from VCU anymore. I follow a lot of people, but other than like you and like the people I like hung around, one of my sweet mates just got engaged, Brianna.
What?
Yeah, girl, she's engaged now. She's about to get married.
Wow. Congratulations to you, Brianna. I wish you have a great and prosperous life.
Period.
End of story.
Always make sure you have your own separate account that you keep hitting.
Yes. Have your separate savings account. Have that joint account that you always take money from. Because that's his money.
I was listening to Scrubs today
Yes.
by TLC. Like we were listening to it at work, and I looked at my manager. I was like, okay, but when they say that on them broke nigga, it's fine. But when the city girls say it, everybody got an issue. But here y'all are
Yeah.
singing no scrubs all day. But when city girls say the same thing, everybody's upset. But y'all still like no scrubs though. So what's the truth? What's the truth? Is it Uchi Wally or one mic? Tell us. What is the truth? That's like my
No.
favorite quote. Favorite quote ever. Is it Uchi Wally or one mic? Those songs are so different. And it's like, Nas, who are you?
But
Okay.
that's the facts. No, but this dude, he was talking about my nails today. He was just like, "Do you ever get your nails done?" And I was just
Mm.
like, I mean, I haven't in a while, but if you want to pay for these nails, I can definitely get them done. He was like, all right, all right. I'm like, yeah, like don't talk about my nails and my hair or whatever unless you're paying for it. And that's
Period.
what I want to set up. I want to make sure you know, oh, you know my Cash App's open. You can drop me $50, then I'll get myself a manicure. Like, we'll go from there. Don't say nothing else unless you give me money. And that's how I want my next relationship to be. So I'm conditioning him, you know?
Same. Same. Like, don't come up to me with that bullshit. Like, if you're not
No,
paying for it, if you ain't paying for it, don't sit here and be like, I want your toes to be white. If I wanted them to be highlighter green, that's what the fuck they're gonna be. Because you ain't pay for them. I pay for them.
exactly. Exactly.
I pay for it. I did that. So don't come up to me. I would never get my toes highlighter green. That would not compliment my skin at all.
But that's what everybody doing.
It just wouldn't compliment me though. Like everybody else can do it. I don't like white toes either. For me.
You know what the problem with white toes? I like white toes on me, especially when I'm tan. But
Mm-hmm.
like, if you accidentally stub your toe, you're gonna have a black mark on your toe for the rest of the week. And that's the problem. White shows any type of like mess up. If you wear the wrong shoes and they stain your toes, now you got a stain on your white toenail polish. Like, it's a problem. Do not do white toes unless you do. Even white fingernails. Those your nails are gonna go into like it'd be your luck. You eat some hot Cheetos. Now your white nails they're stained red. That's ugly.
That is ugly. Disgusting. Not a fan. But
Disgusting.
oh my goodness. But I think it's time for us to, maneuver our way into the music.
Oh
The
yes.
music. What have you been listening to?
So I will say, in this new moon, I've been bringing in a lot of masculine energy, but there's a West Coast rapper named Larry June. Shout out to Larry June, hit me up. And
World.
and he's kind of like that gangsta smooth rap where it's just like, yo, hit that money counter up, ho, roll up. I got my Gucci's. I'm gonna take my Gucci's off before I walk into my room because I'm not messing up my carpets. Type rapper, you know.
What?
He has this bar where he's like, take your Gucci's off before you walk into my crib. I said that's so white, but but it's one of my favorite lines by him. He's like, take them Gucci's off before you walk in my crib. I'm like, yes, take them Gucci's off, ho, because you're not stepping on my carpets like that. But I love Larry June. I gave one suggestion. Oh, actually, I did not give a suggestion from here, but he has an album that came out this year called Cruise USA or USA. I think it's USA. Cruise USA. But the S and the A is not capitalized, so it confused me. But it's Larry June and Cardo. And I'm trying to think what song I like the best, but just listen to that album. We don't even have to put this to the playlist. Just listen to Cruise USA by Larry June and Cardo. It's beautiful album art. It came out this year, and it's really just a highlight of Larry June. Now, if we do add something to the playlist, I would like to add Organic Dip from
What
Larry
is that?
June. It's also by Larry June. That's the one Larry June would add. And it's from Adjust to the Game. And that's also from 2020. He's been just blowing out music because he's just like, yo, I'm quarantining. I'm just going to come out with a bunch of music. I love his voice. It's very like smooth and like sultry. But he's also just like, yeah, I got my hose. What's up?
I'm going to have to listen to him.
I love
because I have to braid my hair tonight, so I'm gonna need music to listen to.
Me too.
Lord.
Oh, quick question for you. Have you
up?
listened to Big Sean's album Detroit 2?
No. I have listened to Body Language off the album, but I haven't listened to the album fully yet. I haven't like been in the mood to sit down and listen to it just yet.
Yeah, you do need
But
to be in a mood. I would be honest with you.
yeah, so but I like that one song, Body Language, because for some reason it played after I listened to Hit Different by SZA. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this song's good. But
I also love anything with Ty Dolla $ign. Ty Dolla $ign, I hope he's rolling in millions of dollars because he
he
deserves
is.
it.
He's got to be. Everybody's songs.
Yes. He's like the Charlie Wilson of this new era.
Wow. I like that.
I did something there, didn't I?
Yeah. I see it. I see like the where you're going for.
Yeah. I definitely see it for him as well. But
Yeah.
I love me some Ty Dolla $ign. Like I it's crazy because I feel like he came out as like him being an artist, but now he's like the like he's like the ultimate feature artist at this moment.
Period.
Yep.
He just his vocals do something to it.
Honestly, I'm not gonna say what I was about to say, but his vocals do something.
Woo. Okay. So good. Okay.
But how about you? Tell me what you've been listening to, girl.
I always wish you would give more. I always feel like I'm giving so many songs.
I can give more if you want to.
Yeah, because I always feel like I have so many songs. And I'm like, people are gonna be swayed to like have my music taste.
Hey, but I feel like I said, I've been very masculine. I've been listening to Spring Clean by Currency and Fuse. The one song I would put on there is what is the song that I want to put on there? I want to say I Don't Want Much because that beat just really gets me to where I need to be. I'm just like, blast it, let me turn it up. It makes you feel just like you're okay. So I listen to most of these songs when I'm driving, and I've gotten to the point where I've reclined my seat so I can sit back and rest my arm on the armrest and just like vibe.
While you're
That's
driving?
yes.
Are you out here driving like a nigga?
Yes.
Oh my god. Lord Jesus.
Because
I do
that
the
is
same
the
thing. I don't know why I'm judging.
but that is the energy I've been emanating right now. It's just like very masculine where I was just like I really just want to like in between my legs, it's an invisible big dick. That's how I've been feeling right now. Yeah.
Love it. Love that.
Yes. Last song, final Larry June song because I'm just gonna give Larry June and Currency the moment that they deserve because I'm really digging deep into some West Coast rap. There's a collaboration he did with Cook and Soul called Orange Season, and I really like this song called Let the Beat Ride. And it's exactly like how the song goes. The beat is just immaculate because that's one thing I really listen to because I think I've dated too many producers is that I really listen to the beat and the music, and that beat is just well, if you listen to the entire complete album, every beat, every sample is just immaculate. But Let the Beat Ride is a very like good beat. It's just like the way he just talks you through the beat is just like, yes, it's a really good song.
I'm gonna have to check this out. Go ahead and
Yes.
add it to my playlist.
Yes.
But do you like Jasmine Sullivan?
You know, I don't listen to her. I feel like I need to listen to more female at what's the word I'm
More
looking
what?
for?
I thought you like broke up or something. I was like, wait, what?
No, I just lost my words. I need to listen to some more female musicians. But I do like Jasmine Sullivan. I just don't listen to her, like, on my free will. You know, I've been very masculine right now.
Yeah. Recently, she just dropped a new song called Lost One. And at
Yes.
first, it was like, at first I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a breakup song about like how like niggas are trash or whatever. But it's really like a song about like how she's the trash one in the situation. And like how like you kind of, it's like really about like the woman being toxic. I wish I could just like pull up the lyrics. I don't feel like getting my laptop again. But it's really good. Like, it's like, don't have too much fun without me is one of the lyrics that keep coming in my head. And it's just like, you left him and now you're asking him not to have too much fun without you.
Ooh.
But also like, same, I've done that. So
no, I'm reading the lyrics now, and like I definitely can vibe with it. It's like a good one. You know when you lost one. You know when you lost one. And it's like you go out and fuck different people to cope and ignore all the precautions. It's like, damn, bitch, call me out. Like, wow. Yeah,
it's
I'll definitely take a listen.
Yeah, and she has like this really like every person who's listened to it that I've told about it and they went to go listen to it, they were like, why does she sound like a man? Like her voice is like so like baritone and like brassy on it. I love it. It's so good. Like I wish I could sing like her. I can't. It's fine. Also, because like I have a new person to stan, even though I've decided to not stan celebrities because they are gonna let me down. But right now I am standing Mulatto. It's just so good. Like on my list, because I wrote down my list of songs. On my list, I have "My Body" by her from her like new little like album. But like honestly, on God, "My Body," "In and Out," literally every single song, it hits. And honestly, mine is my favorite song from her right now is "He Say She Say," because like, how dare you open the song and say, "I love me a country ass nigga with some gold teeth."
It's like
just
us.
saying, because so do I. You know what I mean?
That is the most relatable line I've ever heard in a song.
As soon as it started, I'm like, let me just replay that real quick because I wasn't appreciating the lyrics like I should. But honestly, that whole album is so good.
Yes, like, and she has some pretty solid features on here as well.
21 Savage, City Girls. I can't name those. Gucci's up there.
Yes.
We love to see it.
Every day, any day. I'm definitely about this album.
Yes. Literally, I have to listen to at least one song every day. But randomly, like 2 days ago, I decided to like go back and listen to Kendrick Lamar's Damn.
Yes.
It's still so good.
Yes.
It is still so good. And I went to Feel for some reason. Like, for some reason, I felt that song. And I went right to it, and I was just like, yes. Because, like, just all of it just really just... That song's very slept on. I feel like Loyalty and, like, Humble and DNA really got a lot of that.
Yes. And they got a lot of play.
Lot of hype. Yeah. But, like, all the other songs were still as good. Like, it won a Pulitzer Prize. Like,
what? I didn't know all that. Wow, you schooled me on something.
I've never seen like an album do that before.
Yeah, neither have I. Good for him. Good for Kendrick
Lamar's a legend, just out of nowhere.
Exactly. And I feel like he's such a low-key legend because we don't talk about him all the time like that. But like, what? I didn't know he did all that. Good for him.
It's like you don't have to talk about him all the time. And then like he's out here working with Beyonce. When Beyonce accepts you, you're accepted, sweetheart.
I love her.
That's really all the music I've been listening to though.
I hope I age like Beyonce.
Oh, same. But Masego, I know I say his name wrong, but I'm just gonna blame it on my accent. Masego dropped a song yesterday.
Yes, he did. I haven't listened to it yet, but yes, he did.
It's really good.
I'll listen to this when we pop off.
It's really good. I like it. Honestly, it doesn't matter what he makes. As soon as he says like he dropped a song, I'm gonna just go add it to my like songs. Like it's not Like, I know, like, Zachary Campbell on YouTube, he has like a whole series called Bop or Flop. And like when it's like an artist like Beyonce or like Doja Cat or somebody, he's like, this is not gonna flop. I'm not even gonna say it. That's how I feel about Masego's music. It's like it's not gonna be bad. So it's no point of even trying to figure out if it's gonna be good or not. Like nobody has time for that. Like no. Huh. Well. That's funny. I feel like we should add more segments, but at the same time, it's like the other one takes up time.
Yeah, but the beautiful thing is we have been talking for like over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like add more segments, we'll have more things to talk about, but we also do very well on the topics that we are given.
Period. Despite my scatterbrain.
Despite my scatterbrain, what you mean? Scatterbrains unite. Take me home. I don't need to be
Clock
here.
out. I love saying that to people at work when they say like stupid stuff. I'll just be like, clock out. Like I'm in no position to tell somebody to leave. But I'm just like, go home. I don't want to see you anymore and be around you. The manager I hate did put his 2 weeks in today, so
wow.
There's that for me. Look at how the way God is really,
Are
the
you
way
trying
he's
to move
coming
on
through.
up? Take that
No.
position?
No. Even though I'm working the hours like they do, it's just like they get paid salary and they get paid salary based off of 40 hours, but they work 49. So I'm working 49 right now and getting my overtime, so I don't.
Yeah, that's understandable. Nah.
Yeah. So like, yeah. I wanted to talk about other stuff, but we can like end the podcast now.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you too. You're just the greatest. Thank you guys for listening to us and coming back each week to listen. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much for just taking a glass of wine and sipping with us. Hopefully you're sipping with us and really just supporting us, because this has been a beautiful journey that I'm glad that you guys are taking with us.
Period.
Make
sure you rate us. Like I said before. 5-star chicks only. Okay, love you guys.
Love you.
Thank you for listening to the Black and Bougie podcast.